So I'm here just to tell you a little bit about our year and give you a preview of coming attractions. You know, it's been kind of a slow year at ALF, right? We actually rewrote our mission statement. We managed to do that. We came up with a dynamic new theory of change. We overhauled the website and came up with a searchable senior fellow directory. Yeah. Oh, and we moved the office 3 weeks ago, which I don't recommend doing 3 weeks before a fundraiser. But we did it. So, I also want to share that we worked with senior fellows to host meet and greets and courageous conversations. We have partnered with folks like Judge Erica Yu. Thank you, Erica. Colleen Wilcox, Ann Skeet, Walter Moore, and John Hicks and Netflix to make those happen. We seated our final 2 urbanism classes. We held 9 education and urbanism gatherings. We graduated class 31, and we put together a dynamic group of 24 fellows for class 33. We created I love all these little claps in here. We created a pathway for senior fellows to more easily connect across classes through those affinity groups that Maha was talking about. Last month alone, we hosted 4 design labs to start deeply exploring the question, how can we better leverage the ALF network to create a thriving and inclusive Silicon Valley? Our urbanism classes network that are in the room, our urbanism network piloted wayfinding and started advocating at the city for fast-track event permitting. We worked with our education network to launch our first ever School Board Leadership Academy, where, yes, we bring together charter, private, and public school board members to collaborate for the betterment of all of our kids. We worked with Eastside Union High School District to secure multi-year funding to bring mindfulness into the classroom, an idea that was born out of and strengthened by the education network. Santa Teresa High School has seen a 43% decrease in suspensions since implementing mindfulness. So my friends, it's been a busy year. And 2/3 of the way through, the election happened. If there was ever a time for ALF deep listening and dialogue, it is right now. It is right now. This organization was born out of in response to Watergate by Joseph Jaworski, who saw a crisis in leadership. We have an incredible opportunity to leverage our shared experience in ALF and our leadership stance to change systems for the better. Systems that perpetuate a bias, that prevent access, whether on purpose or because they're stuck, access to greatness, access to opportunity, and access to that thriving and inclusive Silicon Valley. So, it's our job to question, and it's our opportunity right now to act. Many of you have probably received a call from us as we do the Senior Fellow Survey, and the early results show that 60% of our Senior Fellows actually connect with someone else in the network to collaborate. And of those, 75% are working on community initiatives. 75%. We're quite a machine behind the scenes at ALF. So I want to share one other story with you that a couple of weeks ago, 2 people sent me the same New York Times article by David Brooks and said, you got to read this. This is ALF, right? And it's about thick institutions. A thick institution is not one that people use instrumentally to get a degree or a salary. A thick institution becomes part of someone's identity and engages the whole person, the head, the hands, the heart, and the soul. I hope this sounds familiar to some of you. So I have a few calls to action for the fellows and the senior fellows in the room today. Given all we've witnessed this year and where ALF is heading as an organization. Number 1, show up. Show up with your head, your hands, your heart, and your soul. Come to a meet and greet. Host a courageous conversation. Join or start an affinity group about something you deeply care about, and let us help you connect with the right people to be a part of it. Join in to those big idea working groups that are about to take place following the design labs. If you're not sure how to engage in ALF, ask. Number 2, stand up. Stand up and tell us your story. ALF is curating content by and for the network in the form of a newsletter, a blog, and a new podcast. I had the wonderful privilege of interviewing Maha in that podcast last week, and you can take a listen to that in a couple weeks. We need to learn together, and we can be inspiring each other with our leadership stories. And finally, lift up. Lift up the next generation of senior fellows, the people that are going to bring new resources and different perspectives to this network. Nominate somebody. Contribute to the ALF Scholarship Fund so that nonprofit and public sector folks can be in the room. When we took this class, we agreed to take the call if it's a senior fellow. We agreed to participate because when you do that, this organization gets thicker. In 10 years, ALF has given out 179 scholarships totaling $1.5 million. That's because of all of you. We don't get nonprofit and public sector folks to the table without that assistance. So thank you so much. Tuition covers direct costs of our fellows program and is about 30% of our overall budget. So if we want to have impact, if we want to be a connector for this network, if we want to have social and impactful, engaging events for you all to participate in, and so we can see the full value of our affinity groups and our network, we need a thriving alumni giving campaign. My colleague at ALF Sacramento shared with me that 57% of their senior fellows contribute on their alumni giving. Guys, we're an amazing network, but we're at 30. So my challenge to you, senior fellows in the room, is in a year we come back and we meet, and we're at 52. Can we do this, class champions? 5-0, 50%. Thank you so much for being here tonight.